Okay, so the first question is, do you know why these groups of people are discriminated against in the rest of the world? So, I think the reason that minority groups have been discriminated for so long is simply that history is just not on their side. It's always been the same. People have been treated unfairly and with injustice just because of their skin color and their ethnicity and their nationality and their sexuality, and it's always just been the norm to be white and straight, and so I think it really does need to change, and we need to, as people, find a way to be equal or to treat each other in that way. The second question is, do you support any minority groups? If your answer is yes, how do you support it? So I live in Los Angeles, which is in fact a very ethnically diverse city. There's a lot of minorities here, and I think just living here really has taught me a lot about how different life can be for some people, just because of their skin color and just because of superficial differences. And living here, you really do find ways to help. I mean, it could be as little as donating to a charity or going out to vote for different policies that are getting put in place in the Supreme Court. So, question three is: have you ever seen these groups of people on the street, and what do you think of them? Yeah, of course. I mean, I live here in a very diverse city, and of course, I've seen them on the street, and I don't think any different of them than I would of someone that's not a minority. So, to me, it's really just the character and the person themselves, and not exactly if they're a minority or not. And do you think things have improved for minority groups? If not, what do you think is the cause of the delay in equality? Well, this is a really it's a difficult question because of course things have gotten better in 50 years. 50 years ago, minority groups couldn't even be with white people. They were segregated and they were treated completely unfair. And I mean, there is still a lot of racial injustice nowadays, but it's nothing compared to how it was 50 years ago. And I think what we really need to focus right now is on the unfair law and order, the justice system, because it does heavily favor white people. And yeah, I think you really need to focus on the systemic racism now that segregation is out of the way. So I think it has advanced, but not enough. Do you have an acquaintance or family member who belongs to any of these groups, and it is what you experience with them? Well, acquaintance, of course I do. I mean, again, as I've said a lot, when you live in a city as culturally diverse as Los Angeles, you will always be around minority groups and stuff like that. So it's just kind of a given that you'll have acquaintances like that. And yeah, I have a few family members that are gay or LGBTQ, and I think that my experience with them is the same as anyone. There's not really an exclusivity to that specific minority group. I think that as long as you see them as people and as equals, and you're fighting for their rights and their justice, then I think that it's perfectly fine, and that you really should be just helping out as much as you can.